Hello there and welcome to Tom's Warhammer Minis. There are many Space Marine legions and even more Successor chapters throughout the 40k universe, and the Space Wolves are no exception. In this painting tutorial, I'll be focusing on the Space Wolves Successor chapter called the Stone Bears, founded by their chapter master, Skarl the Scarred, whose quest was to find Leman Russ. Their numbers have dwindled in their long search, but new recruits continue to come from the planet Ursaheim, due to its similarity to Fenris. Their beliefs are identical to the Space Wolves and also refer to the Emperor as the Allfather. In this tutorial, I've used the available artwork to create my own Stone Bear Marine. The model I've used is the brand new Space Wolves miniature, the Bloodclaw. And a huge thank you and shout out to Games Workshop for the awesome free miniature of the month, which gave me this fantastic opportunity to showcase to the Warhammer community the awesome Stone Bear colour scheme. And I'm sure you'll all agree that an army or even a kill team in this colour scheme would look incredible. So without further ado, grab your paints and your brushes, grab your Space Marine, and let's get hobbying. And let's begin cracking on with our Stone Bear Space Wolf Successor chapter. And to begin with, my model's been primed in White Scar. Our colour scheme is going to be mostly metallics, and the soft seals of the armour can be hard to reach and messy, especially when they're done later. To begin with, I'm using Black Legion. I've done it to the concentration of Black Templar, so roughly we're talking a few drops of Lahmium Medium, but not too much. Once it's dry, to make those recesses blacker, I've shaded the soft seal areas with Nuln Oil. Alrighty then, the main colour of our Stone Bear armour colour scheme from the available artwork is either a light brown or a light bronze, but there are small areas of details which look like they have a much darker bronze colour, so it made sense to me to go down the entire metallic colour route for our Space Marine. Our first colour that I've used is Canoptek Alloy. Naturally you can choose to apply this where you like, but from the artwork I've gone with, I've painted this everywhere on the armour except the faceplate, top part of the backpack, the aquila, the shoulder pad trims, and around the feet joints and the upper thigh armour pads. As it's a layer paint, its pigmentation is rather lower than normal base paints, so we will need 2, maybe even 3 thin coats for a solid neat colour. Take your time, it's not to be rushed. And once it's fully dry, we can move on to the next colour. Next up is our richer, darker bronze. And the best colour for this scheme is the base paint Screaming Bell. Now it's quite thick, so be sure to apply that classic 2 thin coats for an even layer without clogging any details. And as you can see, I've applied it in and around the feet, thigh pads, the belt buckle, the faceplate, the backpack, and even the chain blade metallic details. Now I'll be using a darker silver later on for some other details, but I want to use this opportunity to set up the foundation of our metallic blue details now. So for the aquila, shoulder pad trim and the eye lenses, I've base coated them in Stormhost Silver. Because our bronze details are light and bright, I want my leather details, which are brown, to be dark and rich, so they stand out nice and clearly. I've opted for Garaghak Sewer, and we can be a little cheeky in manipulating the power of this contrast paint, because this colour in particular creates a very vivid highlight as it dries, and in areas such as the belt I've gone slightly heavier with my paint than I normally would, as it's got that natural recess. For speed painting purposes I technically don't need a highlight, but it also shows very clearly where to apply a highlight should I choose to push it further, which of course in this tutorial I will. Our black details can be painted with pure Black Legion. This includes the bolt pistol casing, the chainsword plating, and the wrap of the sword holster at the back. We need these details to fully dry, so I've taken the opportunity to paint the chainsword and sword blade grips with Leviathan Purple. It's a different colour that will be completely unique from the rest of the model, providing small areas of interest. And now it's time to apply the one colour that makes the Stone Bear's colour scheme truly unique, and that colour is Frostheart. Now I've applied this over all the areas that I previously base coated in Stormhost Silver. So as a reminder, that's the eye lenses, the Aquila, and the shoulder pad trim. Now ideally we want to be neat, but don't worry if we accidentally catch the other details because they're just base coat colours. We can easily fix the Canoptek Alloy or the Screaming Bell should we accidentally catch an area we didn't intend to. The one area that I have left untouched is a little gemstone right at the heart of the Aquila. We're going to paint that a different colour later on to make it stand out. Before I take on the little mini trinkets, I want to finish off the remaining metallic details. This just means it's all dry and I can shade it all at the very same time. To begin with, I'm doing the silver details and I'm using Iron Warriors. This is for areas such as the blade of the chainsword, the metallic details of the weapon, and little areas of interest around the backpack like we see on traditional Space Marines. I've also painted the grenade in this silver too. The exact same way that I've been creating different colours for areas of interest, I've used Retributor Armour on the little details of the sword. Just makes the areas more interesting, and I've done the little gems both on the weapon holster and his Aquila too. It's time to finish off base coating our remaining details. To start with, I've done all of the little teeth trinkets. Nice and easy, skeleton horde is the perfect colour that matches what we want here. Next up is the talisman. There's only one on his elbow pad here. And with this I've used Pterodon turquoise. I've also base coated the rock on the base. Basilicanum grey is the ideal colour here. It's going to match the overall theme of the base when it's finished. And finally, the little gems. There are two on this model. One on the weapon holster and the gem on the Aquila. And Blood Angel's red is the perfect colour that's going to contrast against the bright blue. Now we're going to shade all of our metallic details, and there's two ways we could go about this. Effectively, we're aiming for a recessed shade, and the colour I've used for all the bronze and gold details is Targor Rageshade. Now, I've said there's two ways we can go about this. We can absolutely take our time and only do recessed shading, and this is where we're avoiding all the flat areas on the armour panels. Alternatively, you could slap it on and all over, but not too heavily where it clogs up the details. I've personally done a mix between those two methods, just because for me it speeds up time. I've just relayered the flat armour colours in the appropriate colours once it was dry, leaving the Targor Rageshade only in the recesses. Once that was done, I've taken Nuln Oil, and I've applied this shade all over the silver details, the black details, and the texture painted base. That may be different for you depending on how you want your miniature based. For any wondering, this base was textured with Astro Granite. And with all that done, our model is officially at what I class as battle ready, but we're absolutely not leaving it there. We're going to take it to the next stage with some highlights. We're on to our highlights. Now, Canoptek Alloy as a base coat is tricky to highlight. It's already extremely bright, and there isn't an actual brighter bronze. So we need to go down the silver route, and the brightest colour from the Citadel range is Stormhost Silver. Take your time, highlight each panel. I've used this for all of the silver details too to create that bright, vivid finish, as well as the gold details. I've also used this to highlight the gems, because later on I'll be adding something extra special to create that stronger red finish. Next up is our Screaming Bell details, and the best colour to match with the overall look is Sycorax Bronze. Once again, take your time and highlight all of the edges. Deathclaw Brown is our next highlight, and I'm using this for all of the Garaghak sewer brown details. So once again, the belt, the pistol holster, and the little wraps that hold the trinkets. Nice and simple. You can even add a few scratches for extra details. Next up, nice and simple, I'm using Dawnstone as a highlight for all of the black details, taking my time going around each and every edge. I've even done some of the soft seals of the under armour of the Space Marine suit. Don't need to do all of them, but there are some that you can just catch just to give that extra highlighting edge. We've now got a range of highlights to do. And first up, I'm using Screaming Skull. This highlight, I'm using it for all the little bone trinkets. For the little talisman, I've used Gauss Blaster Green. The little purple details that I did for the weapon wraps that he's holding, as well as the sword wrap, I've used Kakophoni Purple. And finally, there's the gems. A simple shade of Angron Red Clear. Remember, this air paint's quite glossy, so we won't need to varnish it later, but it does take a while to dry. We've just got a few remaining details left to do, and firstly I've started with the base. Using Ulthuan Grey, this is the perfect colour to pick out the Astro Granite, and it's just a simple dry brush here. Next up, I've used Abaddon Black. This is me being rather adventurous, doing a little bit of freehanding. Here I'd recommend using the artwork that's available, which isn't much, just to do some unique designs that aren't available on the transfers. Things like the knee pad that I've done, as well as the hands. Just simple patterns that really make the model stand out. Next up, I've used Art Coat. This gloss varnish is perfect for applying transfers. So I've applied it to the shoulder pads and the kneecap, etc. But I've also used this to do the Frostheart colouring. This just makes it pop up really nicely. And finally, there is the transfers. These bear claw symbols, which are available in the new Space Wars transfer sheet, are absolutely perfect and are what the stone bears are. Finally, I've used Lahmium Medium. And this is because I want the transfers to seal. But I've applied them to a metallic surface and I don't want to upset the metallic properties. Normally using Art Coat, I'd use Storm Shield or a matte varnish to seal them down. But in the case of metallic paints, this would take away the metallic shine, whereas Lahmium Medium will help to seal it but help keep the metallic properties of the paint underneath. And there we have it, with a few cheeky tufts to finish off the base. My Space Wolf Stone Bear Successor Chapter Marine is finally finished. And I've got to say, it's not just their name, though it's absolutely awesome. I really like the colour. You know, a whole tabletop full army rocking this colour scheme would be incredible to behold. And the new Space Wolf transfers can really make some absolutely unique and incredible characters. A huge shout out to Games Workshop for the free model a month. I don't normally pick them up, but to show off unique colour schemes and tutorials, it's absolutely great. Really appreciate the opportunity. And the new Space Wolf miniatures are just perfect. I've already painted my army set that came out this year in the classic colour scheme, which you can absolutely check on Instagram. But yeah, this scheme just rocks. I really, really love it. And I hope that you all love it too. Hopefully we'll see some more stone bears rocking around the Warhammer community soon. And with that said, if you like the video, then please click that like and subscribe button. Not only does it mean a lot to me, it makes what I do worthwhile and very meaningful. Until the next video though, look after yourselves and happy hobbying.